If anybody who asked me that knows who
That
does
sound like
this
some pot
podcast, the first thing they asked me though when they found out, like, oh, y'all smoke weed on there? They all just ask like, does Eric smoke weed on there? And I'm like, you're gonna have to watch for that.
Which is a no.
I find it hilarious that when I'm watching my camera, hidden behind a cloud of smoke from you guys, like you can see it coming in as a wave. It's tight.
Like,
As
you
it
don't
should
choose
be.
to blaze, but you blazing. That boy blaze as hell. You ain't blazing, but you blaze though.
Yeah.
Blazing.
You know what I'm saying? Did he hit it?
Yeah.
Nah.
Did y'all
But-
see?
Did I hit it?
but it
Y'all
hit-
gotta watch the behind the scenes.
But it hit him. You know what I'm saying? He didn't hit it, but it hit him.
Yeah.
Did you turn the volume up on this?
No, I just got loud. But what you want me to do? I'll back it up. My bad. Shit.
So did you all see that Lil Baby released an album today?
You talking about Baby Yoda?
No, Lil Baby. Talk about a little bit
DPD?
about what we spent our day doing today. I think we should shout that out now. Oh no, maybe you should tell us where we're at first.
What the fuck? Oh, you know what time it is? It's about 9:10. How long have we been on the podcast?
7 minutes.
Okay, all right. It's about 9:10. And today is February 28th. It's Friday, 2020. It's a leap year. Tomorrow is the 29th.
It's not a leap year.
Yeah, it is.
Leap is when you don't have the.
Is that right?
No, leap
year's
year
when you
is
have
when you
it.
have the
Yeah, and
Oh,
it happens on the fours. So 20, 24, 28, 32, on that.
Yeah.
People blah, blah,
Thinking
blah.
about it, yeah. Leap year
2000
sounds like you're skipping the day.
Yeah, 2000 was the special leap year. That
Because
was
it only
like
happens every 4 years. Oh yeah, y'all are right. Because
Yeah.
29th is the
And-
makeup. Because you know why? Can I
hold
say
on.
why?
But 2000 was the leap year. That was the once in every 500 years leap year.
Yeah, that was the special one. But
Yeah.
do you know like the basic reason of why we have a leap year?
Because the Julian calendar's wrong,
Well,
and them fools wanted it to
beyond calendars, like counting, yes. But a year is defined by a rotation of how long it takes the Earth to go around the sun, right? And
It's a
we
revolution, yeah.
right. And so we define that number as 365
5 days.
days. But the actual length is
365.25.
364 and a quarter. And so
Oh, yeah,
every
that's what it was.
4 years, you make that quarter up. So first quarter, second quarter, third quarter. We don't actually count those quarter days. But on the fourth quarter, we add all the quarters together to make
An extra
February
day.
29th.
Uh-huh. Crazy.
Crazy,
Well, that's what
right?
day it is tomorrow. Today is the 28th. It's about 9:12 now. And my name is Justin. To my right here, your left, that's going to be Steven. Across from us is producing, of course, and always Eric.
Yo, what's up?
And it's the Lone Ranger versus Tonto up in this bitch. Know what I'm talking about?
We're here again
Shit.
in the
Smoking
undisclosed
this-
location.
Smoking this blunt. Doing all kinds of illicit substances. Speaking of illicit substances,
Yes.
what was we doing today?
Oh, man.
That's hilarious.
So the illicit substances ended up being common chemicals, actually. I don't know who was writing these titles this morning, dude, but what we got in the book was not what we
I don't know.
got on all them titles.
That was hard.
Some were
though.
better, some
That
were
would've been
worse.
tight. What were we doing?
So today we got to spend the day judging the regional science fair in Denver, Colorado. Eric, I gave you the sticker. What's the name of the actual shit?
Don't tell them because then they won't invite me back next year.
They'll invite us back. They love us. And JoJo's in charge of that shit, so
Shout out to JoJo.
yeah,
JoJo and Chad, they were
Law,
cool as fuck.
JoJo Law, Chad Lance, yeah,
And
those are the
Mitch.
homies, and Mitch.
Also cool as fuck.
Well, I
Met
don't
him
know
at the
that
end.
well. Yeah,
Nothing?
It just says CoorsTek.
CoorsTek. Yeah, that's what it was. The
No.
CoorsTek Denver
just
Metro.
dropped a bunch
Denver
of money
Metro
for
Regional
it. That's
Science
not who
and
it is.
Engineering Fair.
Yeah, that's what it was called. It's
That's
called
the one that
remember-
I wanted you to say.
The Immersive.
Yes,
Yeah.
immersive.
The Immersive.
Yeah, well, remember JoJo said that they paid for that shit, so it's actually called the CoorsTek Denver Metro,
Oh yeah, they did.
whatever
pick that.
science fair. See, that's why it says that, boy. That's why he's all confused over there.
It's
Anyways,
just a big red.
logo.
oh yeah. Anyways, we was judges in a science fair.
Yeah. So, which studio did you get to judge? You had 2 awards, right? So we were special award judges. All the science fair gets judged in a category of where those science experiments and
Physics,
presentations should be.
biology,
Earth,
engineering.
physics, engineering. Yeah, it's middle
Math,
school
all
and
that
high
shit.
school kids, and they come through, and so everybody can enter in, and you get all these different projects. And so we were special event judges or special award judges, where they were judged in their category by other people, and then we got to give out awards that are sponsored awards, usually from different areas or different people,
and what'd
different
you give
companies. And I got to give out the 𝗵𝗃𝗍𝗃 Award, which is an amazing company that company. I don't know what it is. I guess it's like the best way I can say it is mathletes. Like
it's a bunch of bros.
Competition mathematics in the high school level is what 𝗵𝗃𝗍𝗃 is.
Okay.
Yeah, or MAU for short is what most kids call it. And in the South and East, it's huge. Out here, it's starting to trickle in, which is really cool. Like it's really fun. But I got to give the award which is basically just a mathematics award for kids going above and beyond the expectation of a high school mathematician. And it was amazing. I got to really experience some crazy mathematics happening where kids though like are doing math that I did in my junior year of my math degree. They're doing as the 17, 16, 18-year-old kids writing to journals already. Like amazing.
Crazy.
And then I got to also give the award from NASA that was for integrating Earth systems, like seeing the whole visual as I interpreted it. It seemed like the visual connectedness of the Earth and like how all these things kind of work together and what we can do about that. And so I really did focus my choice on that one, on climate change. That seemed to be the hottest kind of topic there. So many kids wanted to talk about it. So many kids were passionate about talking about climate change, and none of them are saying anything different about it not happening or anything like that. They all know it is, and they all know that there's a future that they have to live with.
No doubt.
And it was clear to me from 6th grade to 12th grade when I was judging for that award, how clear it was to me where these kids, how much they want to help. Like these, oh man, it was amazing. What awards did you get to give out?
So thanks to you, I gave out the award for NOAA for the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. I never knew what the last A stood for.
Had to go to a science fair for it, folks.
Until I'm giving out the award today. I always knew what NOA stood for. I just never knew the last A. So yeah, I gave away the NOAA award.
Gave away. This dude was in there till the last
I was
minute.
The last one.
He worked for those kids worked for those awards. Like this guy talked to everybody.
I did.
I'm a little bit more like of a veteran in this, and so like
it was hard not to, man. They were all doing such cool shit.
All of us were kicked back eating popcorn in the break room while this dude's still out there till literally the last minute there. Like when I found you there, it was literally 30 seconds after they made the call to be like, hey,
bounce.
Wrap it up, folks.
And I told that kid, I was like, all right, we got it. We got to get this over.
And that's what I finally found him.
But keep going. Keep talking. Because he was to be honest, and that last kid I talked to is the one I ended up giving my other award to. Which was for CBS4. And they were
What is CBS4? I didn't even know what
channel.
that was. Oh, really? Yeah, CBS4, like
in Denver.
Local Denver CBS4 you gave. So will it show up? Do you think it'll show up on TV?
Oh, I'm not sure. I didn't even think about that. But
I mean, you won't, but the kid might.
Yeah, of course I'm not going to. But no, maybe. I didn't even think about that. But yeah, no, and I'm glad it was because I listened. And I didn't. That was the kid. Remember we had talked before and two students had similar projects. And I looked at one student, saw their project, and it was all right. But she was just really interested in it. And she was so interested in it that it made me feel better. I was like, oh, well, if I'm going to consider her for an award, I have to give the other one a chance. And so it was the last
What was their category?
It was the last kid I got to talk. So the category for CBS4 was, it was kind of mixed. So it said that basically anything with environmental, anything that has to do with weather or meteorology.
Oh, yeah. I kind of was interested in that one, too.
Or media.
Mm-hmm.
And there weren't really, any media. There was a lot of weather because of climate change and stuff. But I went with the environmental aspect, I think. And it was mostly because not only was this kid passionate, not only did he have, I thought was a cool reason to want to do the experiment. He wasn't like the other kids just picked one. It was like something that was affecting him as, a 7th grader. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was affected him, and so he wanted to do something about it.
So many of those junior projects were like that. That were like, my life is being affected by this.
It was so crazy. And so, yeah, like, and so I barely got to talk to him at the end. Every time I walked by him before, somebody else was interviewing him. And so finally I got to talk to him, and, you know, we talked for a second, and he was just so passionate about what he was doing. He really wanted to make a difference. And to be honest, he sounded like he had been making steps to actually, you know what I mean, do something with his research. I'm like, man, that's really bold for somebody that's 12 years old. You know what I mean? Like,
I didn't learn that path of like how to research like that until I was so much older than that.
No doubt.
And I like seeing, like, that's the part of education that I love. There's so many educators out there who are like bucking the system, teaching that kind of shit, like the scientific method, and just like basing their middle school education around that shit. Like, I've worked with such great teachers out there that are doing that shit, and that's the product of it.
Yo, and his science was crazy. And just so we're clear, it wasn't just about his passion and stuff. Obviously, the science was tight.
Yeah. And it's being able to teach kids in a way that is like the scientific method is a beautiful way to learn and like just experience the world. And when you teach science through that realm, instead of just like books and definitions and like here's this and that, like we didn't get a great science education. It wasn't bad. We did get some cool shit, I think, growing up where we did, and going to like middle school and high school around the same area. Like it wasn't bad. But like when I became a teacher and I saw so many holes in the education system, like we kind of got the raw end of the deal when it came to science and math, because they taught it in a shitty way. And now it is taught better. And obviously science is being taught better. Like the kids that were out there and like how much bigger was the junior section than the senior section? At least double, triple, maybe.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, these kids are coming up.
A gang.
Coming up, and like the high school portion. And so here's a shout out to everybody who has kids. Like when they want to be involved in science, you got to get them interested in some way, because these numbers have dwindled for the last 3 years that I've been a part of this, and brought Justin in this year for a lot of reasons. I wanted you to be a part of this.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah. And we need more kids in this, and it's just sparking that curiosity in a little bit about the scientific method of just exploring shit and and teaching your kids how to explore shit, modeling that for them in really simple ways, you know, and get them into it. If I would love to help, if you want help getting into science and like stuff like this, there's so many great ways that you can do it.
How do you think kids right now can get into science? Go, you got 20 seconds.
Well, this is more of an engineering one. Can I give this engineering example?
You got
Boom.
18 seconds now.
And so one of the things I love to do is go out to like a thrift store, and then like just find some toy at the thrift store. It doesn't matter what it is or if it works, and you pick that shit up, and then you give your kid a pack.
That's a crazy experiment. 20 seconds is over.
A pack of screwdrivers, and tell them to take that shit apart. All of it. Like, take it all apart, but also tell them to take it apart in a way that they can put it back together. And let them go. And, like, let them break it. Let them do whatever they need to do to figure out how to take it apart. Because it's hard. Like, they're not meant to be taken apart, but any 7-year-old can do it.
Yeah,
if you give them the right tools and a little bit of time and maybe a little coaching here and there.
Encourage that as normal. Like that's
yeah.
Because
that's
normally,
the beginning
normally
of the scientific like method of just like exploration.
Yeah, no doubt. And normally we tell kids, don't do that shit to your toys. You fucking that up. You're gonna fuck that thing up that I paid for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And in reality, it's like I don't know if they're really fucking it up. I remember fucking some shit up, but I learned.
I remember being happy for toys to break so I could have an excuse to take them apart.
That's a little weird, boy. I used to hate when my toys break.
No, man. Like a battery dies or some shit you can't do nothing about, or like some shit like maybe I break a wheel off, or like, you know, you weren't trying to break it, but it happens. But I was just like, ooh, fuck yeah, that's going in the shop. Pretty much was my garage or room where I could take shit apart and figure out how like a motor works and figure out like what is the wiring, like, because like all like remote control cars and shit work pretty much the same. It's the same motor with a different shell on it, but they all work basically the same of a motor that goes forward and backward, which is then I learned like I didn't know this shit, but I could just see there's this motor and 2 wires came from it to a battery, and then everything looked like that. Yeah. But I learned that from breaking a lot of toys and then taking them apart with a screwdriver or a knife or whatever I could find in my garage to like, you know, fuck with.
Well, I mean, I definitely tried to fix my toys and fix.
I was not trying to fix them.
But yeah, no, I wasn't excited that something broke. I was like, God damn, that sucks.
was.
I remember one time. Well, I don't even know if I remember. might have just been told. But either one time when I was little, real little, probably like 4 years old, I used to have a little toy trumpet, and a little toy trumpet. You didn't actually. You just. I think you blew into it, and it like kind of worked, and it wasn't a
More
real
like
trumpet.
a kazoo.
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to blow in this little toy trumpet. I'm all throwing a tantrum, and it ain't working.
How old do you think you are here?
I'm like 4 years old. Fuck this thing, right? Whatever a 4-year-old me would say in that situation, right? And I'm crying. I bring it up to my mom, and I'm like, my mom sees me. She's watching. I give it to my mom. I'm like, Mom, this shit's broken. It ain't working.
Broken.
And she goes, let me see. Broke it over her knee. Handed it back to me. Boy, I hate broken toys, boy. Shit.
Man. Sorry.
I'm sure that's what I deserve.
Sorry about your first trumpet.
I shouldn't have been crying about it. Got it from the thrift store. I do remember that.
See? That's the thing. You get the toys from the thrift store and you can break them over your knee like they don't mean shit. And that's really what we need to teach our kids is these material possessions ain't shit.
Well, we only got our toys from the thrift store, but that was cool. They were all cool toys. Chose them.
That's what's up.
But when we were at Kmart, we didn't get no toys.
We only my son only gets toys from the store when he pays for them, which he earns in his allowance and shit, or holidays. He gets toys from the store during the holidays, like gifts.
Oh, yeah.
But otherwise, the toys he gets is like we make them or we repurpose old shit or we take thrift store toys apart.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just shout out to my alma mater, UCD. UC Denver, that's where it was at. That's where they hold it. In the new building now, 2 new buildings now since I went there. And it's great. And then we also we sat down with JoJo and Chad afterward to have a couple of beers at the Tivoli Brewery, classic brewery that used to exist back in the day in Denver. That's why those buildings exist down on the Auraria campus was because that was a brewery. That's why you see that big smokestack that says Tivoli down it. If you look at Denver from the north, you see the Tivoli emblem down the smokestack in red brick.
That's because of the brewery that was there. That's why that's named that?
Yeah.
Huh. It's still there, isn't it?
It was the Tivoli Brewery.
Yeah, it's also.
Well, it's been there forever, but it just started being a brewery again years ago. It was only a couple years ago because when I went to school there, I graduated in 2010. Ooh, welcome to Guy Spencer's Beer Extravaganza for the week.
Before that, I want to play a game with you guys because y'all talking science, and he gave out the NASA award.
All right, what's up?
I came upon an article talking about NASA taking the vibrations from planets and all that stuff and extrapolating sound from it.
Oh, yeah.
Have y'all heard
Wait, taking the what from
have I heard
planets?
the sound?
the vibrations and like
Yeah, so basically what they do is the planets in orbit, while as smooth as they could be, have their own like type of fluctuations that happen. Kind of, yeah.
Well, so is there center of mass that we're measuring just like moving? Is that like the?
I don't even.
Is that the
remember.
vibration we're talking about?
I've read the same
Don't
thing
remember.
before, though.
Is this like a reflection of another wave back down to us, and it changes when it hits it, like that kind of vibration?
like
vibration
I'm
is
not
a
like
weird
a science
term.
fair judge.
I think
I read an article. I heard some of the sounds and I was like, "That's terrifying." I want to play a game on the podcast.
All right, sweet. Well, I think it's literal vibrations.
I guess we'll find out. It sounds like.
I think it's literal vibrations of the orbit, and when you map that out, when you map that trajectory out or whatever on a graph, you end up with the waves, and then you just translate those waves into sound. Does that make sense? So it's not like a sound that it's actually making. It would be the sound.
I know we're translating something. I'm trying to figure out what we're translating.
Right, so
right,
think
into
about a
sound.
bullet. Think about a bullet. You ever heard a bullet ricochet?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard the bullet after it ricochets? It goes like it'll do that weird like you'll hear it.
Like the last part of the sound you're talking about. It's
no,
one sound.
What you'll hear is the lead itself or whatever you shot.
The projectile.
The projectile itself. What you're hearing is once that hits something, it changes shape. starts to spin and moves in a different direction. So what you're hearing is that now the new shape making a sound that's going.
Yeah.
Like, and so that sound you hear is that shape. All right. So because of the way shapes move through the air. So what they're doing is they're taking the vibration of the orbit, and it's not in an atmosphere, so it doesn't make a sound. It's just doing this shit. But they look at it, use that information, and extrapolate what it would sound like. And I think they even might speed it up over, like, here's 30 seconds of the last month over 30 seconds. And then it creates a sound. And then I think, and I may have that entirely wrong. But that is what happens. When
I'm
you
willing
have
to
the
bet
That's
you're
what I
kidding.
read when I first heard about it. Like when I started like doing a little research.
Don't be over there just
According to
agreeing
the
with me and make me
National
feel good.
Science Foundation, they took an instrument called a Doppler graph, measured light waves, put that into an algorithm that based the light waves and gives you sound waves as the output.
Oh, okay, that makes sense too.
And then just
Hold on. Say that again.
They're just waves.
Yeah.
They're just waves. So sound is waves, and so when you record it, that's what we see on the little things, on the little wavy things. Those are actual recording, like measurements of the waves themselves. So light does the same thing. When you measure light and you put it on a screen, it looks the same way. If you take that wave, turn it into a sound, go.
I got it now.
all right. So I'm gonna play a sound. It's either a planet or the sun. Try to guess the planet or if it's the sun.
All right. Ooh, I love it.
So that was 6 seconds.
And that represented
Of
how
how
much
much
in
time?
real time?
I don't know. It was just it's their SoundCloud.
Do it one more time.
It's NASA's SoundCloud.
Nice. Do it one more time. That's a planet.
Steven?
Yeah, my first guess was planet.
That's the sun.
Ooh.
All right, let's do one more because everything else is a little more.
Don't we have to do at least two more?
You gotta do a few, boy. At least two more.
Well,
At
Got
least
me all
two
excited.
more.
It's Science
We can
Day.
do
Who
and
was at
teach me
science
what the
fair?
sun sounds like, and then probably play me the sun again. Or are you gonna play me a planet? Like I gotta know what the other one is. You can't just play me one more.
well, the thing is, it's
I
a whole
can't be-
playlist.
I can't be fooled.
But
It's all playlist.
You show me what the sun sound like, and then you afraid to tell me what
What a
Jupiter
planet.
sound like, boy?
Right. I need
Okay,
to know
no,
what
so
Saturn's
there's
rings
options.
ring.
there's not all of the planets are on here, and some of the sounds are on here are like a Kepler star, another Kepler star, a couple of like
show us a planet.
I
and
at least
show us
wanna
a
know what all
galaxy.
these
a
here
couple of
about.
moons. All right,
Alright,
we're gonna
cool,
go with
perfect.
one more. It's still same premise: planet or sun.
Cool. Well, how about you show us a planet? Oh, that's a planet for sure.
Do you know what planet it is?
Yes.
Can we guess what planet it is? Play it
Yes.
again so we can guess what planet it is. Because it's a planet. Hopefully.
That shit hitting.
I know that's got a nice beat to it. Some alt Latino I heard on.
I know
NPR
NASA like
today.
releases all their stuff like publicly. I wonder if you can sample that into a song.
Oh yeah, of course you can.
That'd be tight. We gotta hit up P-Docs for that before he
yeah.
retires.
I know that's right.
I'll give you guys a hint.
That's right.
It is a planet.
I already knew that. That's if they didn't have anything else, that's gonna be Saturn.
Steven?
Mars.
Ooh, no, he had it with Saturn.
That
I was
a-
thinking Saturn, but I wasn't going to repeat your guess.
Well, that wasn't based off what it sounded like. That was based off of what I thought they would put if they were only putting a few. So they put the sun, and then if they chose a planet to put, you choose Saturn. Every
right.
time.
That's
like,
why I went with Mars. Was the same reasoning, but I had different reasoning for going with Saturn.
So yeah, when I
why-
think of like planets, I think Mars like is the first one, and then Saturn.
Nah, Saturn is the one. Saturn is like as a planet. Saturn is like Sweet Caroline. Everybody sing along.
Like when you're late in the bar. And what's that other song? Not Sweet Caroline. Everybody loves to sing Journey song.
Just-
Oh, I was gonna
small town
say
girl.
Mary Jane.
That one. What's that song called?
Don't Stop Believing by Journey.
Yo,
That's
yeah, that's the one too. One time my brother told me that, or he said, I don't remember where we were. He said that he's like Mary Jane by Rick James is like Sweet Caroline for the hood. So in any hood bar, no matter what it is, if you've got anybody that's from the hood in there, you play Mary Jane. I love her just the same.
I can help you out. I don't think I'm from the hood. I don't think I can.
No,
even say
oh
that
my
on
God,
camera.
hold on.
I'm sorry.
Are you fucking? Oh man, I didn't expect Eric to know, but Steven? You don't know that Rick James?
I grew up right down the road too.
I don't actually know much Rick James except "Fuck Your Couch."
Hold on, before we get into that, one more. Are you gonna play it?
I'm trying, but my internet, apparently I didn't pay my bill. Oh, you know what? I turned it all the way down. Oh, no, I didn't. Boy, I just didn't pay my bill, I guess.
Damn schminternet.
Oh, there it is. Boy, you play this in the hood, it's just like Sweet Caroline, boy. Everybody know the words. Boy, I can't believe y'all right now.
Oh, I was listening deep. That's me just.
Man.
Ooh.
Mary Jane.
Can I play
Boy,
some
speaking
shit
of
from
Mary
a
Jane,
homie?
what a blunt.
Can
Hold
I
on,
play
hold
some
on.
shit from a homie from Philly that
I don't know why my shit don't stop.
he
bro. I
sent
think
me
my
some
phone
shit.
broke.
He's a good friend of mine. I've actually only met him a few times, but he's one of my best friend out in Philly. Grew up with this guy, and he's been rapping and trying to make his shit work.
What was his name? We get to his name already.
Fuck, I don't know what his name is. I guess.
Come on, boy, just
rap-wise.
your homie like that and you don't know his name?
He raps in another place, and he's TK. Like he's just TK. This is his fiance.
I was gonna say, that's a dude?
No.
I wasn't judging. Hey. Well,
What else we got going on?
we got a fucking Guy Spencer's beer corner. What the fuck?
Oh,
What'd
shit.
you open over there?
Oh, we did open Guy Spencer's beer corner. I opened what? Actually, let's talk about that beer first, cause I love that beer.
Fire.
Tell me about it. What does it taste like?
It tastes like a flamethrower's delight with a cherry on top.
But what's it actually like? Taste like? Not what does it make you feel?
It tastes
I
like
don't
beer,
know.
but it's like not so damn everything else. It's just the beer part.
It tastes like if Summer Nights by Lil Rob was a beer.
Yo, that's exactly what it tastes like.
Thank you for the decently,
My fucking mind is blown, B. That's to the flavor profile.
Do you like?
At what point did you know you had to get back into it? Because you were waiting for us. I'm just wondering what your thought process behind that was.
Lil Rob was playing in my head for most of that. To be honest,
I was trying to get to the second chorus.
Boy, you take a sip of this and tell me that you don't play through your head, boy.
Let me get a little bit more of that because
Oh yeah, you want a cup?
I always want a glass. But what I wanted to ask was, which one do you like better? Especial or Negra?
You know what? I'm not racist. I fuck with them all.
Except for White Claw.
I ain't even mad at White Claw. I was drinking something the other day.
Really?
Hell yeah, the lemon one tastes exactly like 7-Up.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't mad at that. You just feel like that tastes like
Vodka screwdrivers or not?
it tastes like I got the
vodka
flu
sodas.
and I'm on my way to getting better. So I'm like, ooh, shit. I ain't mad at that.
But you don't have a preference, one or the other? Especial or...
No, when I see them, when I like go to the bar and I see that they have them, I usually get the one that I don't remember getting last time.
Ooh, pro tip. If you ever see Negra Modelo. Sorry, I always mess that up. On tap, get it.
Mm-hmm. I done that before.
It is the best way to have this beer, and it's special.
It's cool.
Like, I love it like this, out of the can, but when you get to have it on tap, it's another level. Because, like, Negra Modelo... fuck, man, I can't stop doing it. Negra Modelo. So this beer, when it's on tap, is something else because like this style of beer is like a Vienna lager, right? This is, and like, so it's an older German style, just like most beer in America, like the light lager that we drink, all this stuff, and even the Mexican lagers are all just like based off of German recipes, right? But the Vienna lager uses like a malt that got popular in Vienna, obviously, but also around the world and brought into this area where they use that same malt.
So what's different about it?
It's a little bit darker. So it's roasted a little bit before you put it into the part of what you do with the beer. You heat it up a little bit and let it dry out. But when you heat it up, it already starts to convert some of those carbohydrates into sugars. So it gives it a little bit more color, gives it that darker feel, all that. And it gives a little bit more depth to the malt profile of the beer. And that's why Negra Modelo is like this, where it is a little bit darker. But this one, I think they put a little bit of what's called like a charcoal malt, where it's like really like almost burnt. And it's only because it's just enough to give you that little tiny hint of charcoal. I'm like, I don't know if you guys get that. It's like just a tiny bit.
You got charcoal out of this?
Not charcoal. It's not like in your face, but it's like a little bit of that like charred taste that you get like maybe from a steak, but it's on the back of your palate. But I think they put a little in, and it's mostly just to make it darker. That's what this malt is really used for. But I do think there's enough in there that you get a little bit more than you would normally get in a Vienna lager. Because like Victoria, do you like Victoria?
Yeah, I fuck with Victoria.
That's a straight up Vienna lager. That's what that is. The style is that perfectly. But this is a little bit darker than that. And I think it has that a little bit more of that dark taste why they can call it black. Ooh,
I get hints of medium-bodied lager with slow-roasted caramel malt, brewed for a rich, smooth taste.
Fuck, man, that's right on.
This is my favorite part.
That's right on.
This is my favorite part. Yeah, you know what? It tastes like summer nights.
I love this beer. And like I said, get it on draft because it's something else when you get it on draft based on like getting it in a can. And this, I think, is the best way to have it in a can is to get a tall one. I don't like the little can. I guess you can only get Negra in bottles in a smaller size than that. Otherwise, I don't think they do cans of 12-ounce cans of them, do they?
I don't know. I'm sure they do.
They might in some markets because like markets are way different across America. Like they'll do some crazy shit.
They got all the Modelo
and laws also prohibit shit like you can't buy a fucking 40 in Florida.
Is that right, huh?
Nah.
Yo, me and Rob went to the craziest fucking liquor store I've ever been to. Been to some hood liquor stores, but I've never been to the ones where the shit's like a check cashing place with like 7 inches of ballistic plastic in between y'all and shit. I don't know what it really is, but it's fucking crazy. And I was like, oh shit, like I've been to some hood ones where like you pay and the motherfuckers are behind that shit.
How many of y'all been to the drive-through liquor stores in
where
Lakewood?
It's like they got like a dough where they hand you know.
You remember that one? You ever go to the drive-through liquor store?
They gave us our shit and 8 plastic cups to drink it on the street. Oh, damn. Damn.
Where are y'all at?
I don't know. And we got, this is what Rob paid. And this motherfucker made it out. Like, we got like 2 bottles and 2 bottles of wine. And this food paid like $25.
Rob?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, when we went to the
Rob
Bahamas and
like
shit. Shout out to my
Summer
boy
Night
Rob.
Rob?
Took me out to the Bahamas. Not took
Rob
me,
Blogs,
but invited
Blog?
me out with him to the Bahamas. Yeah.
Shit.
But yeah, they only make
man's
Modelo Negro in the 12-ounce glass
12-ounce bottle.
bottle. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what about this other one?
What song am I
yeah.
gonna expect to hear when I taste it?
Yeah, like, what's the soundtrack? Ooh, this one says Cigar City on it. I wonder if they smoke blunts, boy. Born in Tampa, hecho a mano. All right.
Yeah. What do you think? 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 from Cigar City Brewing.
Well, you chose this shit. What is it?
It's their India Pale Ale or IPA, and it's their moneymaker. This is what they send out everywhere. And when I lived in Florida, this is a Florida brewery out of Tampa, Florida. And I used to drink this beer all the time down there, and it was only really available in Florida when I started, 6-7 years ago. When I was drinking it in Florida, it was only because it was just available up to like Gainesville, maybe Atlanta, like that kind of area would like sneak out. But it was like not a huge brewery. And I think they might be owned by, they might have, somebody else might has a stake in their brewery now. They're not just who they used to be. But this beer has always been great. It has, it's an IPA, but it uses just like a hop profile and a malt profile. It's really nice. It's easy to drink. It's kind of strong. It's like 6.5%. It's a great beer. And I've always been able to drink it, and you can find it all over Florida. And now they finally started distributing to Colorado maybe like 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. And so now we get to drink 𝗏𝗏𝗏 here, which is cool. It's better on tap and fresh in like Florida because like we've talked about before, these beers are like hoppy beers like this are a lot better. If you can hit that 2 to 4 week period after it leaves after it hits that stamp date on the can, that's when you want to like drink these kind of beer.
What's the stamp date on this can?
I don't know, probably a month. I got these over at the
January 14th.
I got these over at Respect Liquors, and so I don't know. When this says canned, yeah, I got mine canned on 1/14.
Wicker scoop sold separately mean? The fuck is a wicker scoop?
I have no idea. They even put a time stamp, like a time of day stamp on this.
Yo, you ever watch Mrs. Doubtfire?
Yeah.
You know the scene of Mrs. Doubtfire? Excuse me. When he throws, who is it? His son's the birthday party that the mom didn't want to throw.
Yep.
And he has like the goat and shit. Mm-hmm. And there's all kinds of stuff. These motherfuckers are being all crazy. They're jumping around and shit. And that song, House of Pain, Jump Around, it's playing.
Uh-huh.
This beer tastes like House of Pain, Jump Around. And I fucking hate that song. I don't care if I ever hear that song again. If somebody told me that, yo, aliens came, they came down, they encircled the planet, and they zapped out 20 songs. The moment I saw House of Pain, Jump Around on that song, I'd be like, or on that list, I'd be like, fucking A, dude. Thank you. Outer Space Beans. Whatever other 2019 songs you took, even if it was my favorite songs, it was worth it because fuck that goofy ass song.
3.75 stars.
That's what this tastes like.
Hell yeah.
It's not very good. Like this thing said clementine, orange peel, caramel malt, and I was like, damn, that's gonna be cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't mad at none of those flavor profiles. Let me try that. That's not what I taste at all.
Hilarious.
I taste fucking pain. A house of that shit.
Oh, man. Gosh. This is getting so much more fun than I ever imagined it was going to be.
What's the character limit for the reviews?
I don't know.
Can we just post links to the podcast and a timestamp?
I think we can until they tell us to stop.
Fuck y'all.
Fuck y'all motherfuckers. Shit.
Yeah.
It's the Lone Ranger vs. Tonto up in this hole.
That's right.
Give a fuck what y'all say.
All right,
Fucking
so Steven, let us know what we're supposed to be tasting with this.
I don't know what the fuck you're supposed to be tasting.
Tight.
What do you taste? Did you try that shit? Did you fuck with it? Because you said all kinds of stuff, malt profiles and burnt and all kinds of shit. But
That was a different beer we were talking about.
I know. But what do you really feel about this one?
What do I really feel about it?
Yeah.
Like I said, I think I have a little bit more of an emotional
Let's keep
tie
it.
to this beer.
Well, let's keep it to like
10 seconds.
No, you can go 60 seconds.
Ugh.
That's cool. Sometimes you go in though, boy, and I'm not gonna lie.
Here, I'm gonna go to the
I get
bathroom. By the
lost.
time that I come back, that's timeout.
Okay.
Yeah, try that shit. Go for it. Motherfucker's still listening.
I like the bitterness in this beer a lot, where it carries through real nice just when you drink it. The bitterness you can taste kind of right up front, but the sweetness hits it, so it balances it, but it carries through all the way through the swallow. And when you drink it, it's just like it has a nice cleansing feel all the way through. But there's a nice fruitiness kind of on top of that when you kind of breathe in. If you take a drink, and like kind of after you swallow, breathe in through your nose. And just kind of be aware of what you're smelling and
What
tasting.
the fuck
at that
did you
point.
just say? I'm supposed to do what?
Take
With
a
my
drink.
nose?
Take a drink.
You want me
and
to snort this shit?
Careful.
No, really. What am I doing? I'm taking a drink.
Just
and then
take a
doing what?
drink, and then when you swallow, breathe in. After you swallow, breathe in through your nose. And then
You telling me about swallowing? What the fuck?
No, after you swallow. You just did a big old
What?
bit before you did.
It don't smell like air, boy. I don't know what to tell you. And this still don't taste very good.
Well, I'm not trying to say that it's
I
going
don't
to
hear
taste
none of
better
that
for
shit.
you.
I don't feel none of that shit. Whatever you said, we're not drinking the same beer.
Yeah, that's probably true.
That's weird, huh? You ever think about that? The way that you
Perceive some.
perceive those
Yeah.
flavors, right?
Yeah, that is taste.
What would make it any different for you to see differently than me, right? So I watched a thing one time about the theory of why they believe that we all see the exact same colors in some experiment they did, but I wasn't convinced. Maybe just because I didn't understand it, but I wasn't convinced. And so
Right.
I'm like, how come, like, you know what I'm saying? We don't know that orange for me ain't purple for you.
Right.
And you're like, why do you even like that color?
I have a jacket that I don't know what
thought
color
both
it is
of them color.
personally. And people tell me what color it is. And then I'm like, it just does not look like that color to me. But everyone tells me this jacket is brown. And when I look at it, it's like a dark green color. And they're like, no, it is not dark green.
That's
And then in some lights,
You think you're
I can see
colorblind?
it. I do think I might have like a red. Well, all of us see red, green, and what's the other? Because like colorblind usually has a specific color. Like it's like a red, green colorblind, and then there's another one. Maybe it's like yellow, blue colorblind, or you can just be like colorblind across the board. Because it all deals with like rods and cones in the back of your eye and how it like hits it. And so there's like 4 or 5 different ways. Maybe less,
So
to
do
be
you
colorblind
see a
is
different
what
color
I'm saying.
than me or no?
Everyone sees colors differently is
just
the
fucking
thing.
crazy.
To what you're saying is everyone sees colors differently, but we
So do you
all
hear
but they're
differently than me
close
too?
enough. No, but I don't know. When they're close enough, like when we say a color is brown, we all see a different brown.
We're just
right?
agreeing on that shade.
But
in our
it's
eyes
all
is brown.
close enough that it's easy to agree on one color. But when it gets into shades like the jacket I'm talking about, or that dress that made that mess on the internet years ago, you remember that, the gold
5
white-
years ago,
Well,
like a couple days ago.
what happened a couple days ago?
It was a couple days ago, but 5 years ago was.
No shit.
Oh,
The dress.
5-year anniversary was.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
a way easier way
It
to
was
say what I
blue
trying
and
to say.
black or gold and white.
Yeah, but that shit, I don't know. I don't understand how that translates through the internet, because like when light travels through the internet, like
No.
the way we
It's
receive
framing.
light from
it's
there.
It's framing. So if you would have had if you were there in person and you would have had everything, your eyes would have seen these colors in different manners. Woo-de-woo, right? Everything would have been obvious. But the picture and the framing, the way that the light up front is here and the way the light is compared to the light in the background, so the foreground light and the background light are very different. And because of that, and you're only framed in that piece right there, so your eyes are trying to understand what you're looking at. A lot of people's eyes get it right away. I think it really was blue and black, and they get it right away, and boom, they see it. But other people's eyes see the foreground light as lit up, and the background light is also lit up, and a shadow in between, which changes the colors. Because neither of those colors are the actual colors in that way. What it is that like when you have shade and light, like the colors are different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like this is yellow.
Well, because when the
over
digital image is taken, the actual print of that color is different colors,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Shade
exactly.
and shadow.
Exactly.
And that's what the different people are looking at,
Yeah,
or
so that's-
people's eyes
that's
are
why
looking
that-
at or focusing on,
That's
right?
why that illusion works.
Because those are just different, like both those pixels are there, right? Is what you're saying? Is that
Yes.
like you can literally see both digitally. Like you could zoom in, is what you're saying,
Yes.
and see both of those colors.
Yes.
But the actual picture, because of the shadow and the lights happening and just getting a print of the current image, because if you walked up to that light is bouncing back and forth from your eyes instantaneously to us, to our perception, right? But when you take an imprint of it, it takes all the color at once and everything as it is in that instant. And then when we convert it digitally, we see both, right? That's what you're saying?
Kind of.
Right? Like
Kind
we're
of.
seeing
No,
all those
kind of,
colors.
but you're not. But again, you're not seeing your full vision. So you're not seeing
Right.
peripherals.
Right.
Which all of these things tell you how far something is or what's in front of
Exactly.
what. And so if this has a different shadow than the stuff in the background, my eyes understand because we're in the light right here, and I know the background is not. All that shit makes sense. But when you clip it down to this, and just the way it happened to be that day.
The framing is
shit-
what.
yeah.
Now I see what you're saying with the
Yeah.
framing. When
It's
you
the sa-
split and take a piece, because
Yes.
like if you just look at this piece of what you're looking at, like of everything else that I can see outside of my hands is so much more.
Yeah.
Than I'm just
It's
taking
the
in that
same-
piece. I could never focus on that.
It's
and
the
like
same
see
way
it
those
as it
ones
is.
work. It's the same way those ones work where you see a photo and then it's like, at first I thought that lady was jacking that baby off. And you're like, what the fuck? And then you look down and it looks like the lady has her hand over
yeah.
fucking. And then your eyes readjust and you realize
The
the,
girl with
baby's
the
just
bag of
hanging.
popcorn,
and
holding
shit.
the bag of popcorn gets me.
All kinds
Yeah.
of weird, all kinds of weird shit. And it's just like, oh, it's an optical illusion. And that didn't look like that in real
That's
life.
a perfect example. Now
Right?
I get the foreground,
Yeah,
background
that
thing,
didn't look like
because
that in
I
real
see it.
life. That looked like
what
a
that
normal
always
thing.
reminds me of from
hold
back
on,
in the
hold on.
day
You
before
took-
the
you
internet?
took that photo, you framed
shit,
it up,
yeah.
and that piece of that frame now encaptures this moment that happens to, from that angle with that frame, look like something else. So that's the same way that works. That's the same way that this is working, but this time it's working with light, but it's still just an optical illusion based on how much you could see. If you were there in person, it would be obvious. It's not
Right.
like anybody knew. Anybody that was there in person then sees the photo, already knows the dress, sees the colors immediately.
Yeah.
It's somebody who has no context, only sees that piece.
Yeah. Well,
then
shit.
the optical illusion comes in.
So that's way different than the jacket that I'm talking about, because like it's real life. The only time I see it, I don't think
that
I've ever
dress
seen a
is
picture
black
of
and
it.
is black and
I've never
white,
seen a
or
picture
no,
of this.
black and blue.
I've never seen a picture of the jacket that I'm talking about. I've never seen a picture of myself in it, and so I don't know what it comes up as if I saw it through a picture. Right? I just see it on myself, and I'm like, this jacket is dark green, but everyone's like, no, that jacket's brown. And
It might be like a dark green brown, and
It
most
is,
people
but
are
it's
just
like
calling it brown.
when the light hits it right. Like if I'm outside, it's different than when I'm inside in a tungsten light
want it
versus
to
when
be
I'm in
green-
natural light.
If you want it to be green, you're gonna see the green in it.
Fuck, I just want to know what color
You know what
it
I'm
is.
saying?
That's my motivation.
It's
there.
probably got a little bit of green. It's probably mostly brown, and everybody else is just
But also, I
ignoring
could
the
show
green.
you, and you would have an opinion that could be different from Eric, because, like we said, like we do see color differently,
crazy.
and we agree though on a like median of what color looks like, and it's pretty detailed. Like it's close. Like you can't convince me that blue is green, right? It's not like that.
Well, I can convince you some shit.
But when it gets down to like some colors where it's just like shades of different colors that you might give names to, or when it comes to even like red, green stuff, that's like what I have more trouble with, I think, that I've realized that my red green color, and you can see those pictures that have all those dots and has like a number in it, and if you can see the number clearly, you have red or green, or if you can't see the number, you have red or green color blindness, and then there's other ones for the other tests, and it's really easy to just like pull up on the internet. You can put it up there, and if you can't see the number in the circle because it's a bunch of dots in a circle, then you have that color blindness.
That's crazy.
Because the color shows up against other things.
I see all kinds of colors.
I was about to ask y'all to do it, but the one that I found emails you the result, and fuck that.
That sounds like trash.
We can just look at it.
I have a homie Benny. I have a homie Benny who did DMT. He said, and he said he saw colors that don't exist.
Wow.
So what do you say about that?
Well, I think about
when I think when he first told me that, I didn't believe him. I was like, "What the fuck? Boy, you're just tripping." And then I did DMT, and I didn't see no colors that that don't exist. But I could definitely see how a motherfucker could see colors that don't exist. And I bet, anybody who has ever tried DMT just went, uh-huh. And everybody else is like, what the fuck are you talking about? Sorry. Got faded one time.
So the
D
first
talked me
thing
into it. It was off the hook. I want to do it again.
Everything
just
was
not
pink.
at some random purpose.
I want to. So yeah. So the first thing I thought about when you said that I saw colors that didn't exist, was that okay? Possible, because we see light on a spectrum.
Sure.
Right? And visual light, we define visual light as what we can see. And we define something like infrared light as something, it's another wavelength of light. And there are creatures on this planet that survive by only seeing infrared light, which is thermal vision. And so there's creatures on this planet that have that vision. There's creatures on this planet that have ultraviolet vision, like bees and
can't the octopus see ultraviolet?
maybe, but there's
their eyes are fucking crazy.
And there are animals on this planet that can see multiple spectrums of light, and so these are all called spectrums, right? And so you have the visual spectrum, which is what we can see. We have the ultraviolet spectrum, infrared spectrum, and certain animals on this planet can see different parts, and insects can see different parts.
X-rays are on that spectrum.
But all your eye does as an organ is take in wavelengths of light, right? And that light could be any spectrum, any one of those spectrums. And what your brain interprets that light as an image or whatever it is, our brain interprets a certain spectrum of light as an image to our cortex to say this is what you're seeing.
So do you
and
think
in other animals, it's doing the same shit from different spectrums of light,
Reindeer
infrared and such.
Are the only mammals that can see ultraviolet.
Oh, no way!
What about
That's some
octopuses,
fucking
Look
Santa
up
shit.
Octo-Pi. Look up that motherfucking Octo-Pi. And do you think that means that you see more like your mom or your dad than you do with somebody random, right? Because if we all see from different spectrums, those spectrums came from somewhere.
Yes.
So if they're different,
they're evolved.
Right?
Our rods and cones evolved to see different colors.
So I can only assume that either my mom or my dad, or maybe I got a nice little mixture of both. That maybe that's how it works. I don't know how colors work like that. I mean, I'm a designer and I never seen no colors work like that, but I don't know.
Well, no, what I think you're saying,
the brain neurologist would tell you that that we're perceiving all these colors, and if the colors we see are based on evolution, then that definitely means either my mom or my dad see like me or close to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So if I was to worry about like who sees the same colors, man, I should be asking my mom or my dad, Mama, what color this picture here?
So you're saying you think it's genetic?
I mean, why wouldn't it be? If it's evolutionary, it has to be.
I think so too.
Like literally by definition, it has to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy, boy. Y'all motherfuckers ain't seen the same color as me. My color's way better than yours, boy. I'll tell you right now. I got the best colors in a 500 square mile radius.
So when you told me that shit about, I think you said one time, when people say some shit to you about, you gotta make the colors pop.
Oh, I fucking hate that shit.
Those are the people who can't see color right.
But no, they're not saying colors. They just think pop is some kind of industry word. So they think when they're saying it, they're speaking language that like we get, that like, you know, the laymen don't understand. When in reality, it makes them the layman. Like, fucking idiot. Like, I'm saying that it doesn't mean anything. It means literally nothing.
Yeah. It's like when people say beer like this tastes juicy.
One time these fools told me to make it pop, and I sent back a joke between me and the messenger in between. So it was me, messenger in between, and then the people ordering the stuff, and they told me to make it pop. And so the first version I sent had like
Justin Timberlake on it.
Their logo and explosions, fireworks, and the fucking every arrows pointing at the fucking, and it was just like this whole thing.
I like
because
your
they told me to make the logo pop.
I like that.
So I made it pop. It was a nice little fun joke I had between me and a client.
You know what fireworks always make me think of?
I sent them the real one later, of course.
Oh, good. You know what fireworks always make me think of?
That octopuses
Rat
can
tone.
see, and they only have one cone for like vision as opposed to 3, so they only see black and white.
Oh,
but the rods in their eyes allow them to work out like the colors somehow, so that they can like change to that specific color.
Yeah, no, I've read it's like in their skin or something that
Yeah.
can see the color. That shit is fucking out of
Octopus-
this world, bro.
You can convince me of aliens, just mention the octopus. Like that. I don't know. That thing just,
Yep.
like an octopus that has an 8, no.
And they only live for like
10-foot
6 months or
wingspan?
some shit.
No, not the biggins. The biggins live for a long time. Like I met Bubbles, the octopus in the Seattle Museum or Seattle Aquarium. That octopus is escaped like twice because they're fucking geniuses. They're tough to even keep in captivity because they're so smart. And they'll like climb in another fucking, like they'll exit their cage because they can't be anything else because they'll just fucking wreck that shit.
Are you sure you just weren't watching Finding Dory?
They got that shit from before that. Look at the videos of Bubbles escaping and doing shit.
In the lab, I've seen the one that escaped
they'll
from the
figure
lab.
out puzzles and
No.
shit.
I saw the
and-
one in the lab. They had this
And-
lab, and they had these Oscars in this fucking tank. And these fucking Oscars kept disappearing. And they were like, dude, these other Oscars literally can't eat another Oscar that fast. We would have some signs. How the fuck do these fucking Oscars keep bouncing? Right? Maybe there was some other kind of, maybe a cichlid or something. Who gives a fuck? I'm going to call them Oscars. And so they had them in this tank. And so they put up a camera to find out, like at night, what the fuck is going on with these Oscars. This fucking octopus in another tank across the way
Yep.
would lift up its fucking thing,
Bounce.
crawl across the floor, over to the island joint, jump in, grab an Oscar, take it back. The fucking Oscar's flopping around. It would like go back and grab it when it got away and fucking take it back up to its tank, go inside, and then you'd see it just disappear under a rock and shit. And they found out this octopus was eating these motherfucking other fish, whatever the fuck they were, on some crazy shit.
That's
Boy,
what I'm
them
talking
octopuses
about.
are fucking crazy,
If you're
boy.
going
They
to
about take
convince
over
me
the
of
world, boy.
aliens, an octopus is the first one I'm looking at. Those motherfuckers can change their texture of
Yeah.
their skin.
Oh, man.
They can change the color
That's
of their
next
skin.
level.
That matches the environment that they're in. The texture matches the environment that they're in. Their fucking bodies can fit. The only thing that's hard on an octopus is their beak, what they eat with.
How long do they live?
And their
Anything.
spirit.
How long do they live? And their spirit.
Humboldt
can't break their
squid,
spirit.
like giant squid and some large octopus can live for decades.
Giant Pacific octopus, 3 to 5 years. Giant squid,
What about normal little octopus?
12 or 13 meters.
Those giant octopus are the smaller octopus are the crazy ones.
There's all kinds of octopus on. Well, so they're octopods.
I know
and
there's some of
lots
them
different
motherfuckers that are
ones.
super crazy and they're super smart and they only live for like 9 months.
Wait, hold
10
on.
months.
There's a one of the questions that people ask is, can a giant squid kill a sperm whale?
Yes.
I don't know.
I know
that
they
sperm
found-
whale's a mammal. Mammals
I know
are
before
tough motherfuckers.
No, before they found out that because the giant squid was just confirmed as a real species in the 2000s. I remember when that happened because before that I watched a documentary that was talking about the mythical species, and one of the pieces of evidence for the giant squid was that on the fucking sperm whales and the blue whales and shit, they would find these chunks taken out that were so big and they looked like squid, like the way that squid attack fish, except for they were so fucking big. They were like
Nothing else could do that.
What else? And it had to be from these deep, from somewhere deep, and that's why they were thinking that there had to be some kind of fucking squid down there. And then they confirmed that shit like 10, 15
And
years
squid
later.
aren't
Crazy.
Octopus. Right?
No.
Squid
They're
are
the same.
not octopods. They're both cephalopods.
Yes, they're both cephalopods.
They're both like cuttlefish.
Cuttlefish are also cephalopods.
I got to swim with cuttlefish one time.
That's weird.
Them are tight. But they were just itty bitty ones. They were just this big, and they were like they're the cute part of the word cuttlefish.
That's weird. They all freak me out. Boy, they're
What?
too damn smart.
No, they're just. I mean, yes,
They know what's
That's
up.
what I'm saying.
And they need me to flex.
Like top 2
I represent the
species
humans, boy.
on Earth that could be aliens. Octopus is number 2 for me.
Can't box.
Number 1, they don't need to box. Number 1 is tardigrades.
I'll piece up an octopus right now.
Me and Lime had a discussion about tardigrades for a while about but this animal, that animal, but this animal, that animal. Then we figured out, I was saying tardigrade. He didn't know that the name for the tardigrade, there's a nickname called the water bear. He was talking about a water bear the whole time. I was talking about a tardigrade the whole time. We're like back and forth, like talking about like animal facts and shit.
And you're talking about the same thing.
Same thing. He just didn't know that, and I didn't inform him that the water bear is a tardigrade.
Hell yeah.
Which
Crazy,
is
yeah.
one of the
craziest
species in the solar system.
solar system.
Because this motherfucker can survive in space.
Yes, it can. Yeah, it's fucking crazy. In the vacuum of space,
And they exist everywhere. And they can exist in like low temperatures, high temperatures.
You
They're
freeze them, motherfucker.
every place on Earth.
Yo, they fucking freeze.
They hibernate for
They're
wherever.
frozen. They're frozen in ice for fucking 100,000 years. I might have made that up, but a gang of years. And then they fucking they
accurate,
melt.
a gang.
They melt, and all of a sudden these fools come right back to life.
They'll
Like,
start-
what's up, little homie? Boom, and they got like 18 legs and shit. They be running around. They do look like little bears under the microscope.
They
But
look
you know
like
what?
a small
Fuck them little
colon bear.
motherfuckers. I can't see them. They ain't my homies. I don't know not one tardigrade. But shit. Bunch of troglodytes, them motherfuckers.
Accurate.
Oh, fucking troglodyte.
All right. So
Shout out
we're
to
at-
anybody that's been watching. We
Yeah.
just released episode
'Cause hopefully
4
you're
online.
laughing too.
We're trying to catch up. Just by the time you see this, I'm sure it'll be a little
Man,
bit
this
later.
is
But we're trying to catch up.
episode,
This is 8.
8.
This is 8. So we're halfway, but we're releasing quick. We're on our way. And in
All
the
right.
meantime,
Oh,
I hear
we
that
might-
motherfucking music. Do you hear that shit, Robin Williams?
Hear what?
You like Peter Pan, boy. You like Peter Pan? What's Peter Pan's name before he Panfield or some shit? Before he
Before he roofioed.
before he remembers that he's Peter Pan.
Peter. Oh, what is his name?
It's
in
Pan
that?
something.
In the movie Hook, he's talking
Hook.
about. You got to look up Hook.
Yeah. It's so give
Also,
give
shout out
Eric
to
a-
Robin Williams.
Oh yeah,
one of my
R.I.P.
favorite actors.
R.I.P. R.I.P.
When that dude
R.I.P.
died,
Paradise.
that was one of the first actors. I don't know if you ever felt this, but like a lot of people who died like that are celebrities and shit like that.
Oh, yeah, that
didn't
would
really
be-
ever fucking phase me. It was just like, oh, yeah, I can do it. Like fans, like whatever, I get it, whatever. And
That's
it's, like,
crazy.
fine. But Robin Williams, I was like, like that one hurt me. That was the first one that like Ooh, that was like a punch in the chest. I remember where I was when I heard that. Like,
I don't remember that.
I was just driving out of work in my car and I heard it on the NPR or probably NPR or some shit. Like after school, I was driving home and heard it on the radio, and I was just like, "Are you like? Oh man, it's still my favorite." I don't know. Jim Carrey is the closest I have to Robin Williams in my favorite actor like category, and Bruce Willis is like he's on reserve.
Bruce Willis.
I guess. I like Bruce Willis movies. I don't know why. I just like Bruce Willis is like a kid
The
thing.
Fifth Element, actually.
Exactly. The Fifth Element is exactly why I love Bruce Willis.
Yo, but no, the first actor that ever, and I didn't feel that crazy about Robin Williams. I don't remember where I was. I remember feeling bad though. I was like, oh man, that sucks, man. Mm-hmm. But the first one I ever really felt bad for was Bernie Mac.
That one hurt.
I remember where I was when I heard Bernie. Goddamn, drink too much goddamn beer. I remember where I was when I heard Bernie Mac died.
Yeah.
And I was driving on my way to work, and that was back in the day when I worked at CCA, and I was going east on Hampton. And I heard him talk about it on like the morning show or something. And I was like, no way. And as soon as I got back to work, I fucking looked it up, woke and I was like, fuck.
Yep.
That sucks. R.I.P. Bernie Mac.
And there's not many celebrities that really hit me like that, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't even know if I know another one that I could
But yeah,
say.
you Robin Williams right now, boy, that shit been playing for about 5 minutes.
What? What shit? That Mrs. Doubtfire? Ooh!
No, that's you still over there watching everybody else eat, boy.
I don't know what you mean.
Can we like put that clip in for the rest of the end right now?
Yeah.
We'll just let that shit go for like 30 seconds, but what we'll play is that scene.
Yep.
What scene are you talking about?
What's the deal? Where's the real food?
Eat up!
Eat what? There's nothing here. Gandhi ate more than this. Forget the games. I want some real food. I want steak. I want eggs. I want a cup of coffee.
You can't! Eat your heart out, you crinkled, wrinkled, fat hag!